Sabi nga ni Madam Chair, hawak niya ang beat. Sino ba naman ako para pigilan ito? Sabi nga ng kanta, huwag mong bibitawan. Huwag niyo nang bitawan yung box. So I dare the committee to open the box, but with a caveat, siguraduhin niyo po na hindi kayo nakalalabag sa batas.
Na nag-utos na patayin ang presidente. Siya ba itong uhaw sa karahasan na nakuha pang magsalita tungkol sa pagpugot ng ulo ng presidente? Siya ba ay lingkod bayan na yumuyuko sa batas o isang makapangyarihang tao na gustong paluhurin ang batas? Ano ba talaga ang kanyang tunay na kulay? Iyan ang tanong natin sa araw na ito.
Kinonfronta ko diretso si BBM. Sabi ko sa kanya, bakit merong pagpaplano ng impeachment sa House of Representatives sa akin? Oh, tapos sabi niya, alam niyo si BBM, nag-English yan eh. Tapos sabi niya, oh, that's not true. Ganyan. That's not true. There's nothing like that. Ganyan siya. Tapos, natigil yung denial niya kasi sa sobrang daldal niya, lumabas sa bibig niya na ang prioridad daw is charter change. So, nung narinig ni Senator Amy yung charter change, nag-react siya. Sabi niya, sa dami-dami ng problema ng ating bansa, bakit naging charter change na ang prioridad? Tapos sabi niya, no, this will be for the country because it's all about the economic provisions, ganyan. So sabi ni Senator Amy sa kanya na parang tipong, hindi yan economic provisions eh. Kasi pag binuksan mo yung amendments ng Constitution, bubuksan mo lahat yun. Hindi mo pwedeng sabihin na, ay, ito lang, economic provisions lang. Kasama na dun yung political. Doon kasi unang diniscuss na tatanggalin ang opisina ng Vice President at papapahabain yung terms ng members of the House of Representatives.
Are conducting the clarificatory hearing for the allegations of threat and destabilization acts. And there are justice members who have raised clarificatory questions already. We are on the video. Honorable Barbers just presented the video of resignation of the Vice President and the designated survivor videos. And for the record, these videos were submitted by the NBI during our clarificatory hearings. To proceed,
Madam Chair.
the Honorable Joboy Aquino.
Yeah, thank you, Madam Chair. Hindi ba unfair naman po kung ang pop culture reference ay gagawin basihan ng suspicion? Marami namang gumagamit ng references from films and series as metaphor. Metaphor lang, Madam Chair. Ang punto ko lang, yung series ng Designated Survivor ay widely known na fiction. Kung ginamit man ito ng Vice Presidente, it could simply be a figure of speech. We should be careful not to overinterpret statements or put meaning beyond its plain language, Madam Chair.
Madam Chair.
I observe that Chair Benny Abante is also raising his hand. Do you have any manifestation or clarificatory question with regards to the resignation video and the designated survivor video?
I requested, Madam Chair, that after the clarificatory questions, that I would be allowed to make a manifestation.
All right. So I will call you after all the clarificatory questions.
Madam
The
Chair.
Honorable Kong Attorney J.P. Padiernos is recognized.
Madam Chair, thank you so much. Madam Chair, I understand yung point po na ni-raise ni Honorable Joboy Aquino. However, we must also consider the other side of the coin. There is a need to examine the statements of the impeachable officer in their entirety and not in isolation in order to determine context, intent, and possible implication. In particular, the reference to the show Designated Survivor cannot be viewed on its own, divorced from the other statements made before, during, or after it. Nevertheless, it must be emphasized that at this stage of the impeachment proceedings, the issue is not yet final guilt or innocence. The question before us is only whether there is sufficient factual basis and probable cause to hold the impeachable officer answerable for the allegations. Whether the impeachable officer is ultimately guilty of the impeachable offense, whether in relation to the designated survivor reference or the other statements attributed to her, as mentioned a while ago, is a matter that belongs to the Senate to determine at the proper time should the case proceed in trial. That's all, Madam Chair.
The manifestation of the Honorable J.P. Padiernos is noted. Now we
Chair.
recognize the Honorable D.S.J.J. Suarez.
Maraming salamat, Madam Chair. Alam niyo po, maaaring fiction po yung series ng Designated Survivor sa US. Kaso lang, hindi po to biro sa atin. Unang-una, dahil ang nagbigkas po ng mga salitang yan ay yung mismong makikinabang kung merong mangyari sa buhay ng ating presidente. She is the direct beneficiary of anything that will happen to the president. And thereby designating herself as a survivor means that she may be entertaining some thought or there are some, things that may happen to the president. And as we all know, the president, the highest elected official of the land, whose life must remain secure because of the responsibilities and the duties that he holds. So we should not take this lightly, Madam Chair. Yes, it may be a basis of some series, and all the reason why it should be the basis because there is so much significance in that statement that was uttered, Madam Chair. So I would just like to put that on record. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Honorable D.S.J.J. Suarez. Now we proceed with the next to raise clarificatory question. Is this still on the video of resignation and designated survivor? D.S. Konghun? D.S. Konghun is recognized.
Yes, Madam Chair. Thank you, Madam Chair. May I ask clarificatory questions lang po para sa NBI? Base po sa Part 4, Paragraph 53 ng Affidavit of Investigation, sinabi dito na the statements made by the Vice President were brought about or motivated by the unpleasant circumstances that happened prior to November 23, 2024 press conference. She imagined the cutting of the president's head. She further claimed that her name was marred by Speaker Martin Romualdez, First Lady Lisa Marcos Araneta, and President Ferdinand Marcos Jr. Kinukumpirma niyo po ba ito?
Yes, Your Honor. It's on the October 18 video that was also authenticated, Your Honor.
Thank you. Base naman po sa Part 4, Paragraph 54 ng Affidavit of Investigation, sinabi po dito na the convolution of these circumstances will demonstrate that the threat is not a product of temporary fit of anger, but it was deliberately thought out by the Vice President. Kinukumpirma niyo po ba ito?
Yes, Your Honor.
Madam Chair, may I manifest that what we are seeing now is not a single isolated statement. When you put everything together, the resignation as a DepEd Secretary in June 29, 2024, and the self-declaration as the designated survivor in July 11, 2024, the remarks made in October 18, 2024 press conference, the threat to the life of the President, First Lady, and former Speaker of the House in November 23, 2024, and confirming the same on November 26, 2024, it forms a pattern that cannot simply be dismissed as a casual rhetoric. Ito po ay hindi about sa politics alone. This is about whether these statements cross the threshold of a credible threat that requires a state response. Thank you, Madam Chair. Yun lang po.
Thank you. We will go back to the video of resignation and designated survivor. If there are any other members who wish to manifest or raise questions on this video, if we are done, then we recognize the Honorable Rog Gutierrez
Thank you,
for
Madam
his
Chair.
clarificatory questions.
Madam Chair, just on that point po, no, and I do agree that tama rin naman po yung ginagawa ng NBI that in relation to the threat video, they're looking at other videos to provide context. And actually, naalala ko lang po, there was another video, I think, that was a pronouncement by a family member of the Vice President in relation to sort of political destiny of sorts. Yung dun tungkol sa mga Romanov at mga Mussolini. I would just like to clarify, Madam Chair, was that also included for context in the investigation of the NBI?
May we hear from the NBI? The Honorable Gutierrez is asking if the video about Romanov is part of your submissions.
Yes, Your Honor, it's part of the submission.
The
but,
same has been authenticated
yes,
as well?
Yes, Your Honor, but it's being considered on an ongoing investigation.
It's part of your ongoing investigation.
Honor.
What's the pleasure of the Honorable Gutierrez?
Madam Chair, that was just a clarification po no, kung na-consider. That's all. Thank you, Madam Chair.
Madam Chair,
The Honorable Bel Zamora.
short manifestation. I believe that all of us saw this video also wherein the brother of the Vice President referred to the Romanovs.
If I may interrupt, since we are discussing on the video, for the guidance of the members, since it's part of the submission, with the indulgence of the members, may we play that video?
Yes, Madam Chair.
Yes? So, Secretariat, please be directed to play the video about that Romanov.
Just a simple message sa ato ang Pangulo. From now on, before you go to bed, think of the Romanovs. Think of Benito Mussolini and his wife. And think of what happened to you in 1986. And maybe you'll reconsider the direction that you are taking.
Honorable Zamora.
Madam Chair, I just wanted to make a brief manifestation regarding that video. Maybe I'll give a little crash course on history. The Romanovs were the ruling imperial dynasty in Russia from the 1600s to the early 1900s, Madam Chair. And why? Sila po ang royal family noong 1900s until 1917. Noong 1917, nagkaroon po ng February uprising kung saan napilitan mag-abdicate o i-give up ni Tsar Nicholas II ang kanyang pwesto dahil may communist uprising. Pagkatapos po, October 1917, merong another uprising by the Bolsheviks, which was led by Vladimir Lenin, And ano pong nangyari dito? Kaya mahalaga itong Romanovs na to. Sila po, ang buong pamilya, ang mag-asawa na si Tsar Nicholas II, si Tsarina Alexandra at ang kanilang 5 anak ay kinuha, nilagay sa isang house sa Siberia at isang araw pinagpapapatay po silang lahat. So, yun po ang reference, nakababahala po ang reference nila sa Romanovs. Bakit naman din po nila babanggitin si Benito Mussolini? Sino ba to? Ang fascist dictator from 1922 to 1943 ng Italy. He allied himself with Hitler and the Axis powers until he was removed by King Victor Emmanuel and executed in 1945. The point is, Madam Chair, nakababahala nga ang kanilang reference sa ganitong mga okasyon, sa ganitong mga tao, and their propensity to refer to executions or to idolize dictators is appalling and should not be countenanced. Thank you, Madam Chair.
Madam Chair.
That is very enlightening. Can we hear first the appreciation of the NBI? Having heard the history from the Honorable Zamora, how did the NBI appreciate this video of Mayor Baste?
Yeah, well, thank you for the cross-current history. Although we already have traced back why there's a referral on that matter. So, and I tend to agree with the Honorable Zamora that the reason why we're still considering what we're saying, that there is an ongoing investigation, because just recently, I think first week of April, there was a rally in Club Filipino when they launched the Rage. Even the name, you'll see it, Rage. So, wherein the Mayor Baste Duterte made reference to kuhain yung ulo ng Pangulong Marcos. And we've noticed a pattern na paulit-ulit, laging sinasabi, kuhain yung ulo. I think there was also a video submitted by NBI, which was also being considered in the ongoing investigation, that Vice President Sara Duterte also referring to remove the head. And I'd like to make a reference on the earlier statement of Honorable De Lima on the pattern of behavior of the family. So lahat po yan ay recorded naman and been publicly used. And yun pa po yung isang nagiging challenge sa amin sa NBI, because again, just recently when the President Bongbong Marcos was present live in Palayan, Isabela, meron pong isang individual doon sa live na nag-post na barili na yan. So it's very alarming dahil hindi na, parang continuing na po yung threat sa ating Pangulo. And kami naman po sa law enforcement, any threat to the President or high official in government, we consider it as a threat to the national security. So it's good that these things are being raised here. So in addition to that, I issued a memorandum circular, administrative order number 11 po, dahil sunod-sunod na nga yung mga threat po na nakikita namin sa social media, creating a task force to continue to investigate this matter.
That's Administrative Order number 11.
Yes, ma'am. And
What
it's
do you
part
call the task force?
yung wala naman pong official name, but it's a task force to monitor all the threats to the President and to all other officials in government.
Is that part of your submission also?
Yes,
to the
ma'am.
committee?
Although it's not directed particularly to the Dutertes, but it's directed po to, in general, sa lahat po. But this is an offshoot because of the behavior po of the family of Duterte.
In other words, Director Matibag, the reason why you are considering all these videos, Director Matibag, is for you to be guided on whether or not threat was actually committed?
As to the press conference of Vice President Duterte, it's already been established by the Bureau.
It's established already.
Long before I came to the Bureau, nandyan naman po yung records, the record which speaks for itself, na the threat, the grave threat and the inciting to sedition are clear. All the elements were present, and dyan po, we're just awaiting for the decision of the prosecution service.
May we just know for the record, because you mentioned a while ago that there is a follow-up investigation. May we know the purpose of the follow-up investigation if you have resolved already the offense of threat that was committed against the first couple and the former speaker? How about the follow-up investigation?
It's an ongoing investigation po. If you recall, dun po sa video ni Vice President, sinabi niya na no joke, nag-hire na siya ng assassin, po. And we're trying to identify and pinpoint the assassin. And just to let you know, we have leads already. We have some personalities that we are nagsusurveillance at sinusundan po namin. But I have to caution you and immediately say that I apologize that we cannot name the names of those individuals naming sinusundan, but we are zeroing on several individuals already na maaaring yun po yung kinausap niya doon sa threat na ginawa po niya.
Wait, let me confirm. You said that you have leads about the assassins hired by the Vice President?
Yes, ma'am. Meron po kaming leads na mukhang talagang, at yun naman po yung findings na talagang may kinausap, kaya nga po nag-file ng kaso ng grave threat at inciting to sedition. Ano po?
And this is the assassin hired to kill the President, the First Lady, and the former Speaker, which we saw from her video.
Yan po yung part ng aming ongoing case build-up and to solidify po kung ito yung individual talaga. If you recall, meron pong mention, it's not been denied, na meron pong itinayong Vice President Sara, parang Vice Presidential Security Group, yung sarili niyang group. So, yun na lang, in general, we're looking on those individuals in the close associates of the Vice President.
Can you expound on the Vice President Security Group? What is the significance of this to your ongoing investigation?
Well, meron po kasing mga na-identify dyan na still in the military service and marami rin po dyan yung no longer in the military service. Ano po. So remember, yung sinusundan po natin is the second highest ranking official of the country. So she has the network. So, kaya po kailangan nating sundang maigi at i-surveillance po yung mga nakakausap at mga kinausap po.
Is it correct to say that the subject matter of your follow-up investigation is the statement of the Vice President that he has hired an assassin?
Yes po, doon po talaga yon dahil we considered it as a serious and actual threat to the life of the President, kaya kailangan po naming bantayan.
And you consider the creation of the Vice President Security Group significant in the investigation of this having hired an assassin?
Para sa amin po, yes, because it is very unusual to a Vice President. If you will look at the history of other Vice Presidents, hindi po ganun karami yung security group na nakabantay po sa kanila.
When you say hindi po ganito karami, can you give us an idea how many security does the Vice President have in comparison with those who serve as Vice Presidents?
I'm not sure what is the number, but during the time of Vice President Lenny, I think it's not even more than 30. Pero dito po, hundreds po yung security na tinayo po nila.
You are saying that during the time of Mayor Lenny, Vice President Lenny, around 30.
That is
And
my recollection po.
during the time of VP Sara, how many?
Hundreds po ngayon yan yung na-identify dyan
By hundreds? Is it 100, 200?
More than this, I think it's ranging from 500 po. Nagbawas
500?
na lang po yan Makikita nyo naman po yan, di ba, dun sa paggasta dun sa confidential fund na mention po yan
So this is 30 versus 500? Is that what you're saying, Director Matibag?
So this is unusual po. It's not usual do sa comparison. And we're looking back also as far as the other Vice President at that time.
Thank you. Now,
Madam Chair.
may we-
Madam Chair.
Yes, I was about to call you. We
Thank you.
recognize the Honorable Tino and then the Honorable Vice Chair Brian Po.
Thank you. Actually, Madam Chair, yung napag-uusapan ngayon ni NBI Director Matibag, actually yan yung precisely yung ating line of questioning. Kung babalikan po natin yung statement, yung threat ni Vice President Sara Duterte na siya mismo ang bumigkas, let me quote, yes, huwag kang mag-alala ma'am, sa security ko kasi may kinausap na ako na tao. So yun po ang sinabi niya rito. Tapos yung kinausap niya na tao, yun yung sinabi niya na pumayag na papatayin niya ang Pangulo, ang First Lady at ang former Speaker kung siya ay mapatay. Tama po ba? Hindi po ba ganun ang eksaktong statement ng Vice President?
Tama po. Kasi kaya nga po, we arrive with that conclusion that the threat will be ongoing. Until such time na makita po natin kung sino yung kinausap, or unless the Vice President will reveal it, which I think it's impossible, hindi po natin pwedeng alisin yung threat po sa ating Pangulo.
Okay. So again, malinaw po, idiin po natin sa mismong statement ng Vice President, yung nakita nating video kanina, sinabi naman niya no, na sa security ko kasi may kinausap na ako na tao. Pangalawa, and then he said yes. So dalawa po ang na-reveal dito. Una, na yung kinausap niya ay galing sa kanyang security. Pangalawa, na lalaki ito, di ba? He said yes. Tama po ba?
Tama po.
Okay. So medyo narrow down po. Pag sinabi pong security ng Vice President, again, ito nga po, katulad ng binanggit nyo, yung Vice Presidential Security and Protection Group. Tama po?
Tama po yan.
At ang pinuno niyan at that time ay itong si Colonel Raymond Dante Lachica. Tama po?
That is correct po.
Okay. So, inimbestigahan nyo na po ba ang VP SPG, including Colonel Lachica, kaugnay dito?
Yun nga po yung aming sinasabi, there is an ongoing investigation and in fact, we are coordinating with other agency so that we can pinpoint who is that individual po.
Okay, so napakahalaga po sa recommendation dito sa affidavit of investigation, ang rekomendasyon na po ng NBI ay sampahan ng kaso ng grave threats, 3 counts of grave threats ang Vice President at saka inciting to sedition. Pero hindi po maaring matapos doon dahil lumalabas may isa pang party, no? Bukod sa Vice Presidente, meron siyang kinausap at meron siyang napapayag, sumang-ayon, na pumatay sa Presidente, sa First Lady, at sa dating Speaker. No? So in other words, hindi lang po, tama po ba sabihin, hindi lang po simpleng nag-hire ng hitman ang Vice Presidente, kung hindi ang hitman na ito ay posibleng miyembro mismo ng Armed Forces of the Philippines. Tama po ba?
It's always it's a possibility because the members po ng Vice Presidential Security and Protection Group, sabi ko nga po, may mga active members po ng military po dyan.
Okay. So, in other words, yung betrayal of public trust po dito ay hindi lamang sa mga krimen na nabanggit, kung hindi, dahil nga pinapayag pa ng Vice Presidente at inamin niyang napapayag niya na ang isang miyembro ng Armed Forces mismo ang pumatay, no? At hindi lang ng ordinaryong mamamayan, kung hindi ng Commander-in-Chief mismo at ng iba pang mga individual at opisyal. So, yun lamang po, Madam Chair. Kailangang madiin po natin na ganong kabigat, no, ang inamin ng Vice Presidente sa sarili niyang mga pananalita na kitang-kita natin sa video. Maraming salamat, Madam Chair.
Madam Chair.
Thank you, Honorable Tino. Now we recognize the Honorable Vice Chair Brian Po. Is there anyone requesting to be recognized?
Madam Chair.
After the Honorable Vice Chair Brian Po will be SDML Lawrence Defensor. And then Congressman Terry Redon, and then Congressman Reneco. Thank you.
Madam Chair. Madam Chair, I'd like to ask the NBI kung included po sa submission sila ang isang interview with the VP wherein a few days after yung original threat, the VP had affirmed that the threat was serious but with condition. Na kung namatay siya, that's the only time the assassin would act. Was this submitted by the NBI?
May I, Madam Chair? Yeah. We are submitting it now. It's part of the subpoena ducis tecum that was issued to us for us to attend today. And that I think the Honorable Po is referring to the November 26 press conference, and we have here the copy. It's been authenticated also.
Yes, Madam Chair.
So I would like to turn over to the Committee Secretariat.
Thank you po. Do we happen to have a copy of that video para makita ng mga kasama natin dito on the record? I guess while waiting, may additional na tanong po ako for NBI. Based on your affidavit of investigation, does the conditionality of a threat affect the veracity of the threat? Based on your investigation and your affidavit po. Kumbaga, is it still considered a threat kung may condition po siya?
The same was considered during investigation, sir.
Sige po. Madam Chair?
Okay, Representative Po, are we done with your clarification?
Yes, Madam Chair, I just wanted to clarify those submissions, and hopefully if we could play it later for the committee, I think that would support our decision-making on whether or not there is probable cause regarding this, this threat. No?
Okay, thank you very much, Representative Po. I'd like to recognize our SDML Representative Lawrence Defensor.
Thank you, Madam Chairman. May I request that the threat video be played again because I have one question to Director Matibag. Can I have the video played again at the proper volume?
COMSEC, please play the video of November 23, 2024.
Putang ina ninyong lahat. Martin Romualdez, Lisa Marcos, Bongbong Marcos. Huwag kang mag-alala, ma'am, sa security ko. Kasi may kinausap na ako na tao. Sinabi ko sa kanya, kapag pinatay ako, patayin mo si BBM, si Lisa Araneta, at si Martin Romualdez. No joke. No joke. Nagbilin na ako, ma'am. Pag namatay ako, sabi ko, huwag ka tumigil, hanggang hindi mo mapatay sila. And then he said yes.
Thank you, Madam Chairman. I have one question for Director Matibag. Director Matibag, para malinawan ang mga sumusunod sa atin ngayon, ano ang res ipsa loquitur and does it apply to the video when it comes to grave threats?
Well, from my legal background, when you say reps ipsa loquitur, is the thing speaks for itself. Ibig sabihin, there's no room for interpretation, hindi mo na kailangang ipaliwanag, kundi lumalabas dito ay, yan ay, dyan na mismo, ipipick up mo na ron. And ang application nga namin, that is a threat. That is an actual threat to the President and to the wife and the former Speaker.
No further questions, Madam Chairman.
Thank you, SDML. Next, we recognize Representative Reneco.
Thank you, Madam Chair. Madam Chair, I would just like to clarify paragraph 34 on the affidavit of investigation. This is page 14 po, kung pwede po siyang ma-flash. Madam Chair, if we could ask the Committee Secretariat to flash paragraph 34 of the affidavit of investigation.
COMSEC, can you please flash paragraph 34?
Okay. I have several questions in relation to the sequence of events happening on November 23. To clarify po with the NBI, mga anong oras po yung press conference na nangyari noong November 23?
Your Honor, nag-start po siya ng November 22 ng 11:30, around 11:30 p.m. And natapos po siya November 23 at around 1 to 2 a.m. po.
Okay, so natapos siya ng very early morning ng November 23.
Yes, Your Honor.
Okay. And dito po sa paragraph 34, this is following yung mga iba't ibang paragraphs that ask yung mga reporters that were present during that Zoom press conference. Tama po, no? May ganong pag-reach out sa mga naging reporters.
Yes, Your Honor. We issued subpoena, Your Honor.
Okay. And paragraph 34 specifically details yung naging response ni Reuters reporter Mikhail Flores doon sa subpoena. Tama po ba? Meron po ditong paragraph na sinasite kung ano yung alam niya in relation to not only the November 23 press conference that happened very early or natapos very early in November 23, pero later that afternoon, meaning ilang oras na po ang lumipas, no, may opportunity ulit na kausapin ni VP Sara Duterte ang mga reporters, and I quote, she further stated, no, thinking and talking about it is different from actually doing it. When that happens, no, there will be an investigation on my death. The investigation on their deaths will be next. Ano pong findings ng NBI in relation to this later, November 23 hapon na pahabol na statement ni VP Sara Duterte?
Ma'am, kinonsider ho din namin ito as part of our investigation.
Okay. Basically, you're saying yung findings ng affidavit of investigation, counts of grave threats, etc., it includes itong statement na ito?
Yes po, ma'am.
Okay. The next part of my manifestation will be a manifestation na lang po, no? From what I've gathered doon sa diniscuss, no, hindi po bugso lang ng damdamin yung pagsabi na no joke, may plano siyang i-assassinate ang isang tao, much less the president. But rather, hours after, no, kung saan may opportunity siya na mag-clarify, i-emphasize yung pagka-joke niya, hindi naman niya po ginawa yon. Mas in-emphasize pa niya na kung may pagkamatay nga, kung mamatay siya, no, may susunod na mamamatay. No, so clear trend of impunity po ang nangyayari, Madam Chair. And my last manifestation would be, it is clearly stated in this affidavit of investigation that the NBI found, no, that yung kanilang findings passes their recent, no, standard of reasonable certainty of conviction. This is under the Department Order Circular 15, no, na mas mataas po sa probable cause. So, ibig sabihin kung ang NBI ay nahanap na meron pong reasonable certainty of conviction, yung mga pwedeng makaso kay VP, no, more or less that should dictate whether the lower standard of probable cause, that ito po yung pinapahanap sa atin as House Committee on Justice, mamimit naman po itong threshold na ito. That's all, Madam Chair.
Thank you, Representative Ko. Next, we recognize Representative Terry Rodon.
Maraming salamat, Madam Chair. Sa NBI po, base po sa Part 3, Paragraph 10 ng Affidavit of Investigation, meron din po kayo iniimbestigahan na video noong pong October 18, 2024, kung saan sa isa pong press conference ng atin pong Pangulong Pangulo, which is also referred to in Paragraph 114 of the Sabaya complaint, kanya pong sinabi na gusto niya daw pong tanggalin ang ulo niya. Si Pangulong Marcos po ang tinutukoy po dito, hindi po ba? Tama po ba ito? Do you confirm it?
Yes, Your Honor.
Okay, can we flash that part of that particular affidavit? Okay. Tama rin po ba na dito sa video po na ito, again in reference to paragraph 114 of the Sabaya complaint, sinabi po ng Pangalawang Pangulo ang sumusunod. Una, gusto ko tanggalin yung ulo niya. Pangalawa, I imagine myself cutting his head. Pangatlo, so noon na-realize ko na toxic na, di ba? Ganyan na yung imagination mo. Sinasakal mo na yung tao. Then I said, this is over. Ikaapat, hindi marunong maging presidente ang nakaupo. Kasalanan ko ba iyon? Ikalima, hindi ko alam. Isang beses, sinabihan ko talaga si Senator Amy, pag di tumigil, huhukayin ko ang tatay ninyo at itatapon ko siya sa West Philippine Sea. At pang-anim, kung president nyo siya, okay lang. Ako hanggang Vice President lang ako. Hanggang number 2 lang itong bansa na ito. Wala itong number 1 para sa akin. Is this an accurate representation of the video we are referring to?
Yes, Your Honor, it is included in the October 18, 2024 video, which was also authenticated, Your Honor.
Madam Chair, may we request the committee to play the clips of this particular video that we are referring to?
Committee Secretary, can we please play the clip, the video clip, referred to by Congressman Terry Rodon?
Gusto ko tanggalin yung ulo niya ba? Gusto ko tanggalin yung ulo niya ba?
All right, can we proceed
Gusto
to the next video, please?
Comsec, can we play
Imagine
the longer
myself
video?
cutting his head. Gusto ko, ganun din ang gusto ko gawin doon sa mga katabi ko.
All right, next clip, please.
Madam Chair, I didn't quite see the video. Can we just play it because parang blurred eh? Can I request that the ComSec play it again? Thank you very much, Madam
Yes,
Chair.
Comsec, kindly play the video again with the volume on max.
Imagine myself cutting his head. Gusto ko, ganun din ang gusto ko gawin doon sa mga katabi ko.
Can we proceed?
Madam Chair,
All right.
just a point of clarification.
Go ahead, DS
Um,
Suarez.
Maybe the good congressman from Bicol Saro can answer my question. Doon po sa video na nirequest niyong ipalabas, may binanggit po na cutting his. So sino po yung his that the Vice President was pertaining to?
I understand.
NBI? Who would be in a better position to answer that question?
Deputy Speaker, I understand that the NBI had already responded. Maybe the response can be repeated as to who is the person being referred to in this clip.
If you would see the whole video, it was referred to the President, Your Honor.
Thank you.
Sorry, Madam Chair. Can you repeat that again? Pakiulit nga kung sino?
If you could see the whole video that was submitted, Your Honor, it is the President that was referred, Your Honor.
The President.
Yes, Your Honor.
Thank you very much.
All right. Can we proceed to the third video, please?
Comsec, please play the third video.
So doon, na-realize ko, toxic na, di ba? Ganyan na yung imagination mo. Ang imagination mo, sinasakal mo na yung tao. And then I said, this is over.
All right. Do we need to replay it or we can proceed?
Go ahead,
We
Congressman.
can proceed to the fourth video, please.
Comsec, yes. Go ahead.
Hindi marunong maging presidente ang nakaupo. Kasalanan ko ba yun?
Please proceed to the fifth video, please.
Pero isang beses sinabihan ko talaga si Senator Amy. Sabi ko sa kanya, kung hindi kayo tumigil, huhukayin ko yung tatay ninyo. Itatapon ko siya sa West Philippine Sea.
Can we be clarified from the NBI before proceeding to the last clip? Who is this tatay ninyo that the Vice President might be referring to? Would you know?
The father of the President, Ferdinand Marcos, Your Honor. Senior.
All right, thank you. Can we proceed to the last clip?
So, kung presidente niyo siya, okay lang. Ako, hanggang vice president lang ako. Hanggang number 2 lang itong bansa na ito, wala itong number 1 para sa akin.
All right. Thank you, Madam Chair. That would be all. Salamat po.
Thank you, Congressman Terry Rodon. Next,
Madam Chair,
we
may I?
recognize Congresswoman Janice Degamo, 3rd District of Negros Oriental.
Meron lang po akong gustong klaruhin with the National Bureau of Investigation. While I was listening kanina at the start with the statements of Congresswoman Leila de Lima, meron lang po talaga akong gustong balikan dun sa paragraph 105 ng Sabalia complaint. Gusto ko lang po itanong ulit na wala po bang latest statement from the time the statement was issued about the threats against the President, the First Lady, and the former Speaker. At present, wala po bang latest na denial or comment ang bise sa usaping threat po?
Nung November 26, 2024, nagkaroon siya ng interview with the media. Noon po niya kinlarify yung about po dun sa threat, Your Honor.
Tama po ba na that was parang statement niya was telling the public na it was conditional threat?
Yes, Your Honor.
Pwede po ba nating balikan yung video?
I already asked a person to take revenge against 3 individuals.
Yung sound.
So, my question now to the administration, is revenge from the grave a crime? Yes. Yes.
That was it po, ano? Dito po makikita na pinapaliwanag ni VP Duterte na conditional lang ang kaniyang naging pahayag. Tama po ba?
Yes, Your Honor.
Na may mangyayari lamang kung may mangyari rin sa kanya.
Yes, Your Honor.
However, gusto ko lang pong i-point out na kahit ang isang statement ay may kondisyon, hindi nito mababawasan ang seriousness o posibleng epekto nito. In matters of security and law, even conditional statements can still create real concern and should not be taken lightly. Madam Chair, kapag ang usapan po ay may kinalaman sa banta ng buhay, kahit pa may kasamang kondisyon, kailangan pa rin itong seryosohin. Ang ganitong klaseng pahayag ay maaaring magbigay ng impression na may possibility na maisagawa ito, lalo na kung ang nagsasalita ay may kakayahan o impluensya. Kaya mahalaga po na ito ay ma-review at ma-address ng maayos at agad para maiwasan ang anumang risk at mapanatili ang safety at kaayusan ng lahat po. Yan lang po, Madam Chair.
Madam Chair, I wish to interject something germane.
The Honorable Laila de Lima is recognized.
This is germane to what was stated by the Honorable Degamo. A threat is a threat, with or without a condition.
Closer to the microphone, ma'am.
A threat is a threat, with or without a condition. The crime of grave threats is consummated with or without a condition. In the case of Calawag versus People, GR number 171511, March 4, 2009, the Supreme Court held, quote, "In grave threats, The wrong threatened amounts to a crime which may or may not be accompanied by a condition. End of quote. That's all, Madam Chair.
Madam Chair,
Thank you. The Honorable SDML Lawrence Defensor.
may I add something to what the Honorable De Lima has said? This is not simply a threat punishable under a statute. This is not simply a threat that is defined under the revised penal code, but this is an impeachable offense which violates the Constitution. Thus, it is betrayal of public trust. Thus, it is a high crime, regardless of whether it is a threat, because of the gravity of this act by the Vice President. So remember, it is not a simple crime under a statute or a law, but this is an impeachable offense under the Constitution. Thank you, Madam Chair.
Madam Chair,
Thank you. Honorable Laila De Lima.
I'm constrained to add also to what was stated by the Honorable Defensor on that matter. We have to consider, Madam Chair, let us be very clear about the gravity of who was threatened. The President is not just an individual. He is the embodiment of executive power, the Commander-in-Chief, and the central figure in maintaining national stability. A threat against the life of the President is not a private matter. It is a direct threat to the continuity of government itself. Kapag ang Pangulo ang binabantaan ay ang pamahalaan na kanyang pinamumunuan. And here, Madam Chair, the concern is even more serious. These hearings have shown that the Vice President is not speaking in a vacuum. There are allegations and patterns that point to access, influence, and capacity to carry out violence. From long-standing associations with violent enforcement mechanisms to the normalization of force in political conduct, these are not abstract risks. They are real, credible, and deeply alarming. This is precisely why such statements cannot be dismissed as rhetoric. They must be treated as dangerous and actionable threats. They constitute inciting to sedition. By publicly invoking violence against the President, the First Lady, and the former Speaker of the House, she is legitimizing and encouraging acts of hostility against persons in authority. At hindi lang po pagbabanta ito sa mga pinangalanang opisyal. Atake ito sa pundasyon ng ating pamahalaan. Insulto ito sa bawat Pilipinong gumagalang sa batas at pinahalagahan ng pagkasagrado ng buhay. Yes, sabi nga po ni Representative, the Honorable Defensor, this is not just a criminal issue. This is impeachable conduct. The Constitution is clear. Public office is a public trust, yet the evidence shows conduct that endangers that trust at its very core. At kung papaglapasin lang ho natin malinaw ang mensahe, pwedeng bantahan ang Pangulo at walang pananagutan. This is not just about one official. Madam Chair, the evidence before us is serious, substantial, and alarming. If we fail to act on this, we do not just ignore a threat. We weaken the very foundations of accountability in this country. Maraming salamat po.
All the manifestations are noted by the committee. May we know if Congressman Attorney J.P. Padiernos is here? Because if not, then we have the last justice member to raise question on. He is the last to raise question on threat. Wala ba si Congressman J.P. Padiernos? If he's not here, before we conclude on the allegations of threat, may we direct first the committee secretary to call the Vice President for the third time.
May the committee know if the respondent, Vice President Sara C. Duterte, is present in today's hearing. The respondent, Vice President Sara Duterte is not present at today's hearing, Madam Chair.
Let it be placed on the record that the committee secretary called the Vice President for the third time, and she continues to be not around in our hearing today. This is for the purpose of extending to her the continuing opportunity to present her evidence, including counter evidence, as well as raising clarificatory questions through the justice members. That is for the record. Chair Benny Abante is raising his hand.
Thank you, Madam Chair.
You're recognized.
Thank you, Madam Chair. Kanina po pinapakinggan ko yung mga clarificatory questions sa NBI. Let me spin the statement of Mayor Baste on the Mussolini and the Romanovs, no? In relation to the statement of VP Sara on her being the designated survivor. Talagay ko, related po ito sapagkat ang pinapalagay po ni Mayor Baste sa aking palagay, ang mga Romanov at Mussolini, yun po yung ating Pangulo. Pero ano po naman sila? Sila po yung Bolshevik. Saka yung Italian Parisian na pumatay kay Mussolini. Yun lang po ang ibig sabihin yan Now, Madam Chair, the NBI should also look into this, sapagkat narinig ko in the past, nung aming pinag-uusapan sa Quadcom ito, na merong 2,000 loyalists ang mga Duterte. I do not know if the NBI has heard that recently, sapagkat pinanggit po ng NBI na ang kanilang security umaabot na 500 Pero I heard during the Quadcom hearing na meron 2,000 na loyalists. Hindi necessarily security na loyalists na member ng mga Marines at member ng PNP ang mga Dutertes. Yung po ba'y narinig na ng ating NBI?
Madam Chair, that's why earlier I'm preparing about the hearing on the Quadcom dahil doon nga po namin napika po yan.
Okay, so I hope that the NBI would also look into this, Madam Chair, well, nais ko muna balikan ang mga sinabi ni Ginoong Madriaga noong April 14, 2026 sa harapan ng committee na ito. So, may I request the committee secretary to please flash page 9 of the supplemental affidavit ni Ginoong Madriaga. Can we do that, please?
Secretariat, please flash the affidavit of Ramil Madriaga. With the clarificatory questions of Chair Benny Abante, we have crossed towards destabilization. That is for the guidance of the justice members.
Okay, thank you. Wala na po akong question. I just would like to make a manifestation on the destabilization and threat.
Yes, you may proceed, Honorable Abante.
Kung natatandaan po natin, Madam Chair, binanggit ni Ginoong Madriaga na pinagkasunduan ni na former President Rodrigo Roa Duterte at PBBM, natatakbong Vice Presidente si VP Duterte, pero nang mag-2025, si PBBM daw ay pumayag na bumaba sa pwesto at iiwan ang pagka-presidente kay VP Duterte. Ngayon, in relationship to what VP Sara has said, being the designated survivor, in relation din po sa sinabi ni Mayor Baste about the Romanov and Mussolini, ang general objective nito daw ay sisiguruhin na si BBBM ay magiging presidente ng wala pang 4 na taon. At uupo si VP Sara bilang Pangulo nang hanggang magtapos ang termino ni BBBM. Ito daw ay para si VP Duterte ay maging eligible pa rin na tumakbo bilang Pangulo ng Pilipinas sa 2028. At kung hindi kusang loob, bumaba sa posisyon si PBBM para maging Pangulo si VP Duterte, ay meron silang gagawing tinatawag nating extraordinary measures na pwedeng gawin. Kasama dito ang, sabi ni Madriaga, assassination, mass resignation of government officials, civil disobedience, at armed assault on Malacanang. Kaya siguro po nasabi ni Mayor Baste tungkol kay Romanov at Mussolini. Kung titingnan po natin ang mga naging aksyon ni VP Duterte at tulad sa mga nilahad sa paragraph 110 to 114 ng Sabalya Complaint, hindi siya nag-attend ng SONA noong 2024 at dineklara niya ang kanyang sarili bilang designated survivor. Galing ano po. Ngayon lang ako nakakita ng leader ng bansa na mayabang at arugante. Oho, di ba? Ayan. Sumama at sumuporta sa mga prayer rally para sa akusadong si Kibuloy, kung saan nila kinestyon ang pagiging lehitimong presidente ni PBBM at gusto pa nga ni VP Duterte. Ang sabi po, napugutan ng ulo si PBBM na bigay po dyan sa video. So para sa akin, Madam Chair, hindi maiiwasang mapansin na mga aksyon ni VP Duterte ay tugma sa inilahad ni Ginoong Madriaga. Yun lang po ang gusto kong sabihin. At ito po ay nalalaman at narinig ng taong bayan, ibig sabihin, hindi lang po tayong uhusga dito, kundi ang uhusga dito ay ang buong sambayanang Pilipino. Maraming salamat po, Madam Chair.
Thank you, Honorable Chair Benny Abante. Still on the destabilization, may we recognize the Honorable Deputy Speaker Paulo Ortega.
Thank you, Madam Chair. Magre-request din po sana ako, wag nang i-play yung mga video natin kasi ansama po talaga tignan. Wag na pong i-play, baliktad. I've said this during the 19th Congress in one of our press cons, sabi ko. Ang joke po talaga dito is yung iniisip nila na joke o ka-joke-joke o pa-joke-joke lang po yung sinasabi nilang joke itong mga threat sa First Family. I believe this is a serious threat at siguradong-sigurado po ako na active threat ito sa buhay po ng Pangulo, ng First Lady at sa former Speaker. Hanggang ngayon, naniniwala po ako na ito ay active threat sa ating Pangulo. Kaya maganda rin po na nandito ang mga kasama po natin sa NBI at mga kasama po natin na kongresista. Sana po mabigyan po ng kaukulang atensyon to. Nag-hearing na nga po tayo pero baka kailangan po tignan maigi ang seguridad ng ating Pangulo. We have to protect the President. We have to protect President Bongbong Marcos. And for my last manifestation, siguro direkta na po ito sa direkta ko pong kakausapin ng ating Pangulo na sa aming native na language. Agannad kayo po Presidente aduti dakas nga tao nga handag sardeng agaramid ti madi. Tanong lang hang kayong hanyo maala hanyo magunod datoy nga tagumpay para ti presidency kin para ti Pilipinas. Thank you very much.
We note the manifestation of Honorable D.S. Paulo Ortega.
Madam Chair.
Kahit hindi namin naintindihan. Nevertheless, with all due respect to D.S. Paulo Ortega, no, the videos that were played were part of the submissions and were in fact part of the investigation report of the NBI. So notwithstanding the fact that it offends our moral, legal, spiritual senses, I think it is significant that the committee see these videos in order to be guided in the determination of probable cause.
Madam Chair.
Madam Chair.
The Honorable D.S. Albi Benitez is recognized.
Yes, I would like to add lang dun sa punto ni Honorable Abante at Honorable Ortega. Relevant po sa sinabi nung Madriaga noong April 14, 2026. Dahil po nakikita natin may pwede po mag-establish ng motive o motibo para sa mga ginagawang threat or destabilization. Ang pagbabanta po sa buhay ng ating presidente ay hindi lang isolated incident. Ito po ay hindi ginagawa in the heat of the moment. Hindi lang po ito parang sasabihin mo na bigla. Mukhang ito po ay may isang extraordinary measure na ginagawa at ito po ang binanggit nga ni Madriaga doon sa kanyang testimony at kung hindi po bababa ang Presidente BBM. Nais ko lang po ipaalala at saka masabi sa ating mga kasamahan na ang pinakamakikinabang po dito sa kung mamatay ang ating Presidente ay ang Vice Presidente. Dahil sa ilalim po ng konstitusyon, siya po ang aangat at magiging Pangulo. So ito po ang isa sa probably motive no, ng ating pinag-uusapan ngayon. At ito po ang siguro ang end result na gusto nila mangyari. Madam Chair.
Madam Chair. Madam Chair.
To the NBI, may I just confirm, because D.S. Albi Benitez made a very strong manifestation that the Vice President will be the one to benefit in case something happens to the President. Was this considered also in your investigation?
Yes, ma'am. It was considered in our investigation. Ano po. Katulad po nung i-play yung video kanina, kung babalikan nyo, sabi niya hanggang number 2 lang ako, walang number 1. So we consider that is a statement that she is longing to be the number 1.
All right. That is for the record.
Madam Chair.
The Honorable D.S. Biron, you're
Thank you.
raising your hand. You will be called next.
Thank you, Madam Chair. I would like to direct this question to Director Matibag. Director, sa inyong investigation, in your investigation, involving the threat of the Vice President against the life of the President, the First Lady, and the former Speaker, have you consulted a psychologist or a psychiatrist to evaluate this threat? I'm asking this question, Madam Chair, because it's very apparent that the Vice President has consistently displayed a violent behavior. That's all, Madam Chair.
For the guidance of the members, the question is about the psychiatric issue of the Vice President, alleged against the Vice President. The NBI may answer.
Well, una nga po, sinasabi namin it is an ongoing investigation. So sa tanong po ni Kagalang-Galang Biron, yan po ay kasama talaga. In fact, meron po kaming behavioral science department, mga professional psychologists who can assess the mental behavior of the Vice President. Lamang nga po, hindi po siya dumalo dun sa patawag ng NBI nung iniimbestigahan po itong threat. But until now po, we are processing it. Ang ginagawa po namin doon sa aming Behavioral Science Department, ibinabase namin doon sa mga video na nakikita namin. First, we authenticate the videos and titingnan po namin yung pattern. And I would like to go back to sa sinabi again ni Congresswoman De Lima na yung behavior, hindi lang po ni Vice President Sara Duterte, kundi yung behavior ng buong pamilya. Just recently nga po, which part of our submission, yung video doon no April 13, yung rally dyan sa Club Filipino, na may submission po kami niyan. Baka po pwede nating ipakita rin yon. And later on, I will repair the question for a more detail kay R.D. Lotok dahil naging parte po na investigation yan.
Madam Chair, can we have that video played?
Yes, Secretariat, please play the
Thank you,
video
Madam
in
Chair.
Club Filipino referred to by Director Melvin Matibag.
Sabihin na natin, may nakawan nangyari, bigayan ng pera, whatever. Kasi that should be enough. Nagkaroon na kayo ng presidente that tolerated it. So what's next? Dadagdagan nyo pa? Nagpasarap na kayo ng sobra-sobra, gusto nyo pa? you know, kung swerte na kayo sa buhay, it's time you give back to the people. Huwag niyong pahirapan yung mga tao. Tama na yan. Okay na yan. Siguro yung mga anak nyo maka-aral sa abroad, you can eat, you know, in a very nice restaurants. Tama na yan. That's
Is
okay.
this the video,
Isang
Director
ulo lang
Matibag?
naman ang kailangan
Yeah,
namin.
that one.
Ang ulo ni Bongbong Marcos!
Can we play that part again? Because that is the reference of the NBI. The last part of the video, please play again.
Back to the people. Huwag niyong pahirapan yung mga tao. Tama na yan. Okay na yan. Siguro yung mga anak nyo maka-aral sa abroad, you can eat, you know, in a very nice restaurants. Tama na yan. That's okay. Isang ulo lang naman ang kailangan namin. Ang ulo ni Bongbong Marcos!
Director Matibag?
Yeah, that's the video, the last portion where he is referring to the ulo of Bongbong Marcos. And if you recall, on the previous videos that was shown, nandoon din po yung sinasabi rin ni Vice President Sara, ulo ni Bongbong Marcos. So those pattern of behavior, kasama po yan sa pag-aaral po ng mga eksperto namin sa psychology po. And I would like to refer to R.D. Lotok para discuss niya po doon sa portion ng grave threat, kasama po talaga yung proseso dapat na yan.
With the indulgence of DS Beron, they would like to expound on the issue that you raised. The NBI agent is recognized.
Thank you, Madam Chair. Actually, based sa investigative cycle phases na sinusundan ho namin, nagfo-fall ho siya sa ikatlong phase. If I may, yung first phase ho na sinundan namin yung identification and preservation, which was explained by Agent Kalilong. And then the second phase, collection and hashing, which was also explained in order to preserve the data. And then yung pangatlo, yung tinatawag po naming analysis and attribution phase. In the analysis phase po, we organize and review the subject digital information. We look for patterns, consistencies, and links. We look for repeated actions, consistent threatening utterances, whether the same or intentional or just spur of the moments. So lahat po ito consider namin yung konteksto kung paano ho kami nag-conclude na indeed yung threatening utterances ng ating Vice Presidente ay papasok ho sa crime of grave threats.
All right, so you apply the totality
Yes, ma'am.
of all the videos presented in your conclusion as to whether or not threat was committed by the Vice President. You
Yes,
continue.
ma'am. As a matter of fact, yung isa sa mga reason kung ba't nag-issue kami ng subpoena sa ating Vice Presidente ay para ho ma-interview din siya ng aming mga eksperto, ng aming mga psychologists.
But just for the record, dumating ba siya dun sa subpoena ninyo?
Hindi po, ma'am.
She did not appear. DS Beron, do you have additional clarificatory
That's all,
questions?
Madam Chair. Thank you so much.
Can I ask something, DS Beron? Because sometimes I hear psychiatric issue, sometimes I hear psychological issue. What is the difference between the two?
I think D.S. Garin would be in a better position.
Okay.
She was a former secretary.
With the indulgence of the Honorable Marcoleta, I just overlooked the name of DS Janet Garin and Congressman Digamo. But after them, we will be recognizing you. DS Garin is recognized.
Madam Chair, I can yield to Congressman Paulo Marcoleta, may inaanak after Kong Biron. But just to answer your question, a psychiatrist is a medical doctor trained into the mental makeup of a person. A psychologist is not a doctor, but they also handle the behavior of certain individuals. I can dwell into that, Madam Chair, but I believe at the proper forum because I was not called as an expert witness on that part, and I am also not a psychiatrist. Thank you, Madam Chair.